This is a continuation of the previous video, and this question is taken from Dairy Officer under the Directorate of Dairy Development. From the question, a train is 150 meter long. So the length of the train is 150 and it's running at a speed of 54 km per hour. So how much time? So we need to find the time. The option is given. Is it 10, 15, 20 or 25 seconds it take for the train to cross a platform that is 150 meter long? We need to find the time. So we need to know the formula. And I'll be using this formula, which is time equal distance over speed. So I can write distance over speed. Before we plug those values into our formula, we need to change the train speed unit, which is in kilometer per hour, to meter per second. You can see it is in second. So I can write here 54 kilometer per hour to meter per second. How do we do that? We simply use this fraction, which is 54 times 5 over 18. You might be wondering, where did I get this 5 over 18? Well, we know that 1 kilometer equal 1000 meter, and in 1 hour there's like 60 minutes, and in 60 minutes there is 60 seconds. So whenever we try to move from a bigger unit to a smaller unit, we multiply. In our case, 1 hour is bigger than second. We need to multiply these values. So 60 minutes times 60 seconds give me 3600 seconds over 1000 meter. Now if I simplify this, I have 2 5 would be 10, 2 1s are 2, 2 8s is 16. So it will be 5 over 18. Now 18 times 3 would be 54, 5 3 would be 15 meter per second. I have a speed unit also changed in meter per second, so I can plug this speed into my formula. But before we do that, we need to add our distance. Because we are given the train length is in 150 meter. We also give the platform length, which is 150 meter. So if I add the distance or the length for the train, that will be distance equal 150 plus 150. That will give me 300 meter. Now we can use this formula, time equal distance over speed. Time equal, our distance is 300 meter, this one, and our speed is 15 meter per second. Meter would be cancelled, and 15 times 20 would be 300, so that is 20 seconds. So it takes 20 seconds for the train to pass the platform. That is 150 meter long on the length of the train itself. So our option C is correct answer, which is 20 seconds. Now let's move on to question number 6. A train passes a platform that is 100 meter. So a platform length is given 100 meter, and the train took 20 seconds to pass that platform. If the speed of the train is 54 km per hour, so the speed is given of the train 54 km, we need to find the length or the distance of the train. The option is given 100 meter, 120 meter, 200 or 160 meter. Now in order to solve this question, we will use the formula of distance. And I'll be using this formula, which is distance equals speed multiplied time. So I can write speed multiply time. But before we do that, we need to change the unit of the train speed, which is in kilometer per hour, to meter per second, because the options are in meter. So I need to change 54 kilometer per hour to meter per second. We already know that. So 5 divided by 18 would give me 15 meter per second. So I can write here 15 meter per second over time here is 20. So our distance would be 15 times 20, that will be 300 meter. Second cancel, so it will be meter. But this 300 meter is the total distance, meaning it includes both the length of the train as well as the length of the platform. So the total distance equal the train length plus platform length. So we already know the total distance, which is 300 meter, which is this one. And the train length is what we need to find. The platform length is given from the question, which is 100 100 meter. Put it here, 100 meter. So if I subtract both sides by 100, so that'll be 200 meter. So the train's length is 200 meter. Have we take a look at option? We see that option C is the correct answer, which is 200 meter. Now this question number 7 is taken from the Sub-Inspector of Statistics under the Directorate of Economic and Statistics paper. So let's take a look at the question. A train that is 180 meter long. So the length of the train or the distance is 180 and it's running at the speed of 54 km per hour. So the distance is given, which is 180, and the speed is also given, which is 54 km per hour. So we need to find how many seconds it would take to pass a man standing on the platform. So we need to find the time. 4 option is given. Is it option A, option B, option C, or option D? And we will use this formula, which is time equal distance over speed. So I can write here time equal distance over speed. We already know the distance, which is 180 meter, but the time here is in 54 kilometer per hour, so we need to change it to meter per second. I already told you 54 times 5 over 18. This 5 over 18 we get from a fraction of 1000 meter over 3600 seconds. So it will be 15 meter per second. We simplify this, we get 15 meter per second. So I can write here 15 meter per second. So meter would be cancelled. Time would equal to 15 times 12 would equal to 180. So it is 12 seconds. Take a look at option. We see that option C is the correct answer, which is 12 seconds. Now let's move on to question number 8. Now this question number 8, it deals with boat and stream. Now from the question, a man rows 40 km upstream in like 8 hours. So let me draw here upstream, which represents a stream. He covers a distance, he rows and he covers a distance of 40 kilometers upstream in like 8 hours. And a distance of 36 km downstream in 6 hours. This one. Let me draw with an arrow downstream. He covers a distance of 36 km in like 6 hours. So a man rows upstream. He covers a distance of 40 in like 8 hours. And downstream he covers 36 km in like 6 hours. So we need to find the speed of the stream, which is this one. 4 option is given. Is it option A, option B, option C, or option D? Now before solving this question, you need to know certain quantities and formulas to be able to solve this question. If you want to find the upstream speed, we will use this formula, which is boat minus the speed of the stream itself, because we are trying to go against the speed of the stream. That's why we need to subtract. Now if you want to find the speed of the speed downstream, I could use this formula, which is boat speed plus the speed of the stream itself. So the speed will be more than the upstream because you're not fighting against the current. What about the speed of the boat? If you want to find the speed of the boat, you can use this formula, which is boat speed in still water. Meaning it would only give me the speed of the boat, which is downstream plus upstream over 2. That'll give me the overall speed. What about the speed of the stream? Right here, S. I can use this formula, which is downstream minus upstream, because we're fighting against the stream, so that's why I need to subtract over 2. In this case, from the question, we would use this formula to know the speed of the stream. As you can see, stream, which we don't know. But before we use this formula, we need to find the speed of the upstream and the downstream, which we will use this formula, which is speed equal distance over time. So from the question given, we need to find the upstream and the downstream. Speed equal distance over time. We know the upstream here distance is 40 km in like 8 hours. So that will give me 5 km per hour. What about downstream? Distance over time. That is 36 km in like 6 hours. That will give me 6 km per hour. So the man rolls downstream is more than upstream because it's not fighting against the current. So it's 6 kilometer downstream, and upstream it's 5 kilometer per hour. Now I can plug these values into my formula to know the speed of the stream. So I can write here speed of the stream equal downstream. I already know that is 6 minus upstream from this one over 2. So downstream minus upstream over 2. So downstream is 6 kilometer minus upstream is 5 kilometer over 2. So the speed of the stream equal, let me write here, speed of the stream equal 6 over 5 would give me 1 over 2. If we simplify this, I get 0.5 kilometer per hour. From the question, we can see that option A is the correct answer, which is 0.5. But if you want to find the speed of the boat, let's say if the question asks the speed of the boat itself, so I can write boat speed equal, we can use this formula, which is downstream, but in this case we will add upstream over 2. We already know downstream is 6 kilometer per hour, upstream is 5 kilometer per hour over 2. That will give me 11 over 2. If we simplify this, I get 5.5 kilometer per hour. So the boat is moving at 5.5 kilometer per hour. So remember, whenever you're dealing with this question, you need to know these quantities and formulas to be able to solve this question. You can take a screenshot and you can try to solve those questions with the help of this table. Now let's move on to question number 9. Now this question is taken from Inspector of Housing and Housing Department paper. So from the question, a train is traveling at the rate of 45 km per hour. The speed is given of a train which is 45 km every hour. So how many seconds? So we need to find time, that too in second. Will it take for the train to cover a distance of 4/5 km? So distance is given, which is 4 over 5 km. We're given 4 options. Is it option A, option B, option C, or option D? In order to solve this question, I will use this formula, which is time equal distance over speed. So let me write here, time equal distance we know is 4/5, speed is 45 km per hour, and this one is kilometer. So kilometer cancel would give me an hour. So what about the value? I can simply flip this denominator, which is the speed. I can write here 4/5. Now if I do that, the division would change to multiplication. I can just assume here that below the 45 there is 1, so 1 will be at the numerator and 45 would be at the bottom, which is the denominator. There will be time equal 4/5 times 1 over 45, which is hour in this case. Now 1 would be 4, 5 times 45 would be 225 hour. Now all I need to do is change the unit. So I know that 1 hour equal, when I change from hour, which is the bigger unit, to second, which is a smaller unit, we multiply. So 1 hour equals 60 minutes, and 60 minutes there is 60 seconds. If I multiply this, I get 3600 seconds. So I change from hour to second. So I can write here 4 over 225 times 3600 seconds. If you simplify this, you get 64 seconds. If you take a look at our option, we see the option D is the correct answer, which is 64 seconds. Now there's a different way to solve this question, which is unit conversion. Instead of solving in this manner, we can just simply convert the unit from kilometer to meter per second, and also in this case the distance from kilometer to meter. Let's do that. So we know that the speed is 45 km per hour. Distance is 4/5 km. So let's do with the speed first. 45. I'll multiply it with 5 over 18. Now if you're confused where I get this fraction 5 over 18, we know that 1 kilometer equal 1000 meter and 1 hour equal 3600 seconds. I hope you still remember whether I get this 3600 seconds, because we know that 1 hour equals 60 times 60, minute times second, 60 times 60 will go 3600 seconds. Let's simplify this fraction. I get 5/18. Now 45 times 5/18. Now if you simplify this value, I get, now 36 would be 18, 3 1s are 2, 3 5s are 15, 3 2s are 6, 2 5s are 15, 5 would be 25/2 meter per second. What about our distance? Now let's do our distance. Our distance is 45/5. Now we need to change this kilometer into meter. I can do 1 kilometer equal 1000 meter. So 1 would be 5, 2 is 10. So LB, 2 would be 800 meter. So I can use it in my formula, which is time equal, which is 800 meter over speed, which is 25/2 meter per second. Meter here will be cancelled. It will be 800 times 2/25. And 5 would be 25. 5 1s are 5. 6 are 30. That'll be 160. 5 1s are 5. 6 are 15. 5 2s are 10. So 32. I have 32 times 2. Now if I multiply those, I get 64 seconds. Now give me the same answer, but in this case, we convert the unit from kilometer per hour to meter per second, and also the time from hour to second. But it still gives me the same answer. Depending on which method you want to use, which one is easy for you, you can select one of those approach. It will still give you the same answer, which is 64 seconds. Now let's move to question number 10. A train is running at 90 km per hour. So this is our speed, which is the train speed. And the train crosses a pole in like 10 seconds. So this will be the train time. It took 10 seconds. So we define what is the length of the train. We can also say the distance. The 4 option is given. Or is it option A, option B, option C, option D, which is none of the above. Now in order to solve this question, I will use this formula, which is distance equal speed multiply time. Or we can write in this case, which is length of the train equal speed multiply time, which basically mean the same thing. I can write length of the train equal speed multiply time. So speed we already given, which is 90 km an hour. Time here is in 10 seconds. Before we multiply these values, we need to change their unit because the speed is in kilometer an hour, time is in second. So we need to change them into meter second. So let's do that. Our speed 90 times 5/18. I'll be using this fraction to convert it into meter second. The reason I use this fraction is because we know that 1 kilometer equal 1000 meter and 1 hour equal 3600 seconds. If I simplify this fraction, I get 5/18. So let's multiply this value. 36 would be 18, 330 would be 90, 2 3s are 6, 215 would be 30. 3 1 would be 3, 2 5 would be 15. So that'll be 5 times 5, that'll be 25 meter second. So I can write 25 meter second times 10 second. Second would be cancelled. That would give me 250 meter. This is the length of the train, which is option A. Option A will be the correct answer. Now let's move on to question number 11, which is train stationary object. From the question, a train that is 360 meter long. So the length of the train is given, which is 360 meter, and the train is running at a speed. Speed is given, which is 45. Speed is given, which is 45 kilometer an hour. And what time will it take for the train to pass a bridge? So we need to find the time. What time, which we don't know, it would take for that train to pass a bridge that is 140 meter long. So the bridge length is 140 meter. So is it option A, which is 20 seconds, B 30, C 40, and D 50 seconds. So we need to find the time. For this question, I'll be using this formula, which is time equal the length of the train plus the bridge length over speed, which is taken from this formula, which is time equal distance over speed. Now, whenever there's a length of train and bridge involved, we simply add those values, meaning the length. So that will be the length of train plus the bridge. So let me write here time equal we already given train length is 360 meter plus the length of bridge, which is 140 meter, over, which is our speed, which is given, which is 45 kilometer an hour. But before we divide these values or add them, you must convert the unit. In this case, if you look at our option, it is asking us in second, which is second. So we need to change our meter kilometer to meter per second. So our speed needs to be changed. So let's do that. 45 times 5 over 18. We already discussed where did I get this fractions, 5 over 18. So let's simplify this. 6 would be 18, 3 1s are 3, 2 5s are 15, 3 2s are 6, 3 5s are 15. So it'll be 5 times 5 equal 25 over this one, 2, the denominator. So that would equal to 25 divided by 2, that would give me 12.5 meter per second. So it'll be 12.5 meter per second. What about the length? I can simply add those values. So it'll be 0, 6 plus 4 would be 10, 3, 4, and then 5. 500 meter over 12.5 meter per second. So time equal, if you're having trouble, divide the value and there's a decimal involved, you can simply multiply these value with 10. That'll be 500 times 10 over 12.5 times 10. Meter here cancel, it will be second. So time equal 5000 over 125. That would equal to 5, 2 would be 10, 5 would be 25, 5 1s are 5, so it'd be 1000. 5 would be 25, 5 2 would be 10, so it'd be 200, so it'd be 200 over 5. 4 would be 20, so it'll be 40 seconds. So it takes 40 seconds for the train to pass a bridge. Or if we take a look at the option, we see that option C is the correct answer, which is 40 seconds. Now let's take a look at question number 12. This question, it deals with average speed. From the question, a man goes from place A to B at a speed of 12 km an hour. So the speed is given from A to B. The speed is 12 km an hour. So right here, speed. And he returns, meaning from B to A, he returns. But this time his speed is 18 km an hour. So I can write 18 km an hour. Speed, kilometer per hour. So we need to find the average speed for the whole journey. So we need to find the average speed. This is average speed. What option is given? Is it option A, option B, option C, or option D? In order to solve this question, I would use the formula of average speed, which will look something like this, which is average speed equal to times A times B over A plus B. So I can write here A from the question given. Let me write here A equal our first speed, which is 12 km an hour. I can write B equal to 18 km an hour. So I can plug these value into my formula, which is average speed equal to times 12 times 18 over A is 12 plus 18. We can simply multiply these value. 12 2 would be 24 times 18, and 12 plus 18 would be 30. It will be in kilometer an hour. The average speed kilometer an hour. So let's simplify this value. We have 24 times 18. That would give me 432 over 30. Now the average speed equal, now 432 over 30, that would give me 14.4 kilometer an hour. I can write this average speed equal 14 over 2 over 5 kilometer an hour. So this would be the average speed of this question. If we take a look at option, we see that option C is the correct answer, which is 14 2 over 5 kilometer. Now let's take a look at another method or way to solve the same question. But this time, imagine the distance is given. In this case, distance is not given, only the speed. So let the distance equal 36 kilometer. If the distance is given, we would use a different approach or different way of solving the question. And we will use this general formula to find the average speed. But before we do that, we need to total time. So we have the distance, which is distance equal 36. What we don't have is the time. So let's do that. We will use the formula time equal distance over speed. So our first speed would be, distance is 36. Our speed is 12 kilometer an hour. This one is kilometer. Now this speed is taken from the question. I hope you still remember, which is this one, 12 kilometer an hour. Now 12 times 3 is 36. So kilometer will be cancelled. It will be hour. So 3 hour. What about the second one? 36, which is the distance, over 18. 18 times 2 hour will be 36. 18 times 2 will be 36. So it will be 2 hour. And we can use the formula, which is total distance over total time. So let's add our distance. 36 plus 36. Time will be 3 plus 2. So the average speed would equal to 36 plus 36 would equal to 72. 3 plus 2 would be 5. Now the average speed equal to 5 times 14.4 kilometer an hour. So this is the average speed if the distance is given. Now we move on to question number 13, and question number 13 deals with boat and stream. In order to solve this question, we will use a formula, which in this case is speed of the man equal downstream plus upstream. Now over 2. But before we do that, we will look at the question. A man can go 30 kilometer per hour upstream. So this is the speed of a man, or in this case, it's a boat. Speed of the boat can go 30 kilometer upstream and 34 kilometer downstream. So downstream, the speed is 34 kilometer. Upstream is 30 kilometer of the man or the boat. So we need to find the speed of the man or the boat in still water, meaning we're not adding the speed of the water itself, but only the speed of the boat, the man. So would we use this formula, which is speed of the man in still water, the boat, equal downstream plus upstream over 2. Whenever we try to find the speed of the boat or the man, we need to add those values, which is downstream plus upstream. So downstream would be 34 kilometer per hour. Upstream plus upstream, which is 30 kilometer an hour divided by 2. This will give me the overall speed. So that will be 64 over 2 kilometer an hour, which equals to 32 kilometer an hour. So this is the speed of the boat in still water, which is option B. Now, if the question is asking us to find the speed of the stream, meaning not the boat but the stream or the water itself, we would use this formula, which is the stream speed that equal to, or the stream speed equal to downstream minus, in this case, we need to subtract the upstream and divide it by 2. So if you're trying to find the speed of the boat in still water, we add those values, and if you try to find the speed of the stream, we subtract. So downstream speed equal boat plus the stream itself, upstream stream, boat minus the current, or the minus the stream, because the boat is fighting against the current, so we subtract those values. Now let's see why this equation works, meaning this boat in still water, downstream plus upstream. So let's add these values. So I have boat speed plus the stream plus boat speed minus the stream equal to 30. Boat speed upstream is 30 kilometer, downstream is 34 kilometer per hour. So this one and this one will cancel out, so I have 2b equal 64. Now the boat speed would be 64 over 2. That would give me 32 kilometer an hour, which basically mean the same thing. So as you can see, 32 kilometer per hour. If the question is asking to find the speed of the stream, so it will be b plus the stream. In this case, we subtract those values. B minus the stream. It'll be 30 kilometer, not plus, my bad. It should be minus 34 kilometer an hour. In this case would be B plus S. If there's no value here, we can just assume that there's one. It'll be minus B minus times minus would be plus S equal 30 plus 4 will be 4 kilometer an hour. Now B and B will cancel itself out. We have to S be 4 kilometer an hour. So the speed of the stream would be 4 over 2. That will give me 2 kilometer an hour. So the speed of the stream is 2 kilometer an hour. Speed of the boat is 32 kilometer an hour in still water. If you find this video helpful, do let me know in the comment, or you can like this video. So yeah, that's it for this video. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.